But they don't understand, like, once you get into real life and you're having to pay bills and take care of your own needs and certain things, you'll realize at that point, okay, yeah, this game ain't really, this is just a game. It's not going to make or break anything in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but yeah, I mean, I think the schools don't make it hard, but the schools are embracing the technology, right? Because the kids are learning from computers now. They're taking their tests on computers now. They're going away from paper.
Welcome, guys, back to another episode from the Carver Ave Chronicles podcast with I'm Trae, and my brother Tone is here. And we want to thank you all for just coming in and listening. And today I just want us to discuss the importance of balancing screen time as well as, learn the pros and cons when it comes down to children watching YouTube and playing games all day and all night. And I thought this, my grandson, I'm actually in a chair now. This is his chair. His gaming.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, like, because you're in a different space, definitely a gaming chair.
Yeah, this is a topic that I get asked quite often, and these kids are little. I'm like, well, one person asked me, how can I eliminate my daughter from always want to be on YouTube? And I understand now that we're in times where, life is busy and, it's a good tool to use to keep them occupied. However, we still have to find the balance in it as well, because kids will get lost when it comes down to watching YouTube or playing games. And I understand it's the time that we're in now where everything's technology and, pretty much everything's all on the screen. I get that. But as our children are developing, I really do believe that we should have a balance in it. Like, how many hours or how many minutes throughout the day should a child be on screen time?
Yeah, absolutely. Whew. And that's tough because, I mean,
It is.
like, it's one thing when we were kids,
Mm-hmm.
we could go outside and run free and not have to worry about getting kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can't keep your eye off a child because you just don't know.
Right.
Somebody's going to come snatch your child, and that's just it. I mean, we're in a different age now.
Right.
So granted, while it's safer, like for me, I use my son for one example because like he reminds me of your grandson. All he did was just play games, right? Don't get me wrong, I had him involved in sports. He played baseball, he played football. He was very active, so there was a little bit of a balance there. But for the most part, it was gaming. It was, up all night gaming and things like that. And even now that he's, grown and working, he's still making that time to play games. So I think, as long as you can try to create a balance,
Mm-hmm. That's what I think.
and how do you do that though? I mean, I think you gotta see what the child's interested in. Boys is harder than girls. Girls don't mind, playing with dolls or drawing and coloring and doing different things like that, or like, making craft type, things with paper or something else. Boys, not so much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, yes, limit the screen time, or if you're not limiting the screen time, how do you make it fun?
Right.
And educational or something like that as well, is why you can look at it like, YouTube, Netflix, and different streaming platforms. You see a lot of kid related content. But obviously now it's about how can I draw more eye. That lots of kids play a big part of that. So I mean, for me, it's just figuring out a balance, and it does require parents that, especially now it's hard because everybody has to work and make a living, and things are more expensive and just tough. how can I be hands-on? That's the biggest thing is how can I be hands-on? We can go out and we can have a bowling night, or we can go do some other thing where, the kids can run around or something and go to a sim or something like that. I mean, it's just really getting creative
It really is.
while being hands-on. I mean, so like, is there anything that you done with your grandkids or anything that you think that might help with the screen time, or what do you find that works for you?
I mean, I agree with you. Like, I'm gonna start with my children. Like when they was born, I purposely gave them time when to play with these items. And I also encourage, school is important. And of course, we from a religious background, so church is important. So I incorporate all those things, but I also made sure they had time, a downtime. So all of my kids, my son, he's the same way. He still plays the game, which is fine because as you know, he travels a lot. So it's good. So I'm not gonna say there's anything wrong with it. I just don't want I didn't want them to always want to be in a screen versus learning who they could become or what else, like what activities do you like besides just playing a game all the time. So that's pretty much what I did. So, you've made a whole lot of good points. So like with my grandson, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about him. With my grandson, I told my daughter since he loves to be on the computer a lot, since he loves to play games a lot, you know, pique his interest, see if he's interested in that. So right now, what she's working on is she's putting him in middle college, so therefore he can learn more about gaming. So therefore he could be around the community of those who are, who play games a lot, create, build games, or I'm not really familiar with the language of that particular area. So like I took, cause he's only 12.
Basically, that coding, and you will learn coding.
Yeah, okay. So he's 12.
I'm assuming. So, like, and I'm gonna cut you off. So, but are you saying that he's around people that are coding?
No, 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 no. What I'm saying is that she's getting ready to sign him up. She's been trying to sign him up for the last few years, but up here at middle college, it gets booked really quickly. So you have to jump on it really quickly. Um, so what I told her to do, since he loves it so much, because he's to the point to where he's on it morning, noon, and night. And like I told her, that is not a good thing for him because that's like his first priority. So like I told her, okay, since he don't really want to get into esports, because we have tried some sports and he likes it, then he'll do it for a little bit and he'll stop. So what I told her to do is see if there's any schools that offers gaming. So therefore he can also maybe build a trade, learn new skills and also be around another community that can teach him the balance of it all, but still find something that, he loves to do. Because I mean, I know there's cognitive skills you can gain from all of this. It helps with problem solving, it helps with strategy thinking, and it helps with hand and eye coordination. So I understand all that. But like I told him, like I told her, if this is something that he loves to do, teach him how he can build a career in this at a very early age versus, just allow him just to just sit here and play and don't do anything. Because he don't want to do anything. But we're working on that. Nothing but playing games all day.
Now you wasn't like this.
No, I really care for games. I mean, I play Burnley too.
When we were on Carver Ave, there's that name again, right?
Yeah.
That's all I did.
Yeah.
No, me and James, our brother,
Yeah.
see, we play a game. I mean, we went to the arcade and the beach. We had Nintendo in the house. We had friends that had whatever they had. I mean, that's all we did. You know what I mean? Now, granted, we did like to ride bikes. We, go to the basketball court and run around a little bit. So there was a little bit of balance there. Most part, Tony loved his games. Even now, I mean, I don't see no, but I will, get on my PlayStation and just to kind of get away from life a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, and that's fine. Yeah.
But see, I think the thing too, though, you mentioned the screen time. If you think about the way the world's working, it's kind of hard.
No.
They aren't.
No.
Yeah, I look around and there are so many people that are wearing glasses.
Yeah.
And the main reason why is because we're surrounded by screens. We're watching TV. We're on the computer. We're now on the phones, tablets, whatever. Everybody's having glasses or contacts because you're surrounded by a screen at all times.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. It's just I have parents that come to me and they want to know how can I, eliminate some of this screen time. So I'm seeing that.
Yeah, it's just getting creative. I mean, it's literally getting creative. What can we do as a family? Oh, how about actual game nights?
Yeah.
Where we're playing
Yeah.
Uno, Monopoly.
Oh,
So
speaking of that, you talk about game night. Oh, I tried that. Grandma, that's what. Well, I don't say grandma, my kids, because I'm big at that. So I do try to incorporate all that. I literally just bought I bought we do Uno sometimes. It's all about what they are interested in. So since they don't be really want to do all that, okay, we'll go ahead and play the game. That's what we did for Thanksgiving. We'll go ahead and play the game. Nobody wanted to play not Uno. Nobody wanted to play Monopoly with me. So I guess it depends on the family, So it depends on the family. So, but with I don't want to talk about my children because they have balance in it and they are more responsible with it. So, with my grandson and this generation, I really want to focus. I'm not saying that they don't need to be addressed because they do. My main thing is, like I was trying to show with them, is we have to learn how to do, because there's no more family time unless you involve yourself in games with them, unless you play the games with them.
yeah, I mean,
That's what I have.
so here's the thing with that.
Go ahead.
Right. So here's the thing with that. You can easily find these games digital, right? You can find Monopoly. You can find even Uno.
Yeah, I play it.
Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy.
Yeah.
They have a lot of digital version of these games that you could just, you know, do a trivia night or just anything that, now you're in their world,
Yeah.
but you're also incorporating something that might say, okay, hey, you know what? Maybe I want to try this physical game versus online because I do like playing it on the TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really getting creative. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the biggest thing is hands on. Is it crafts? Is it going out? And again, I mean, it could be as simple as going to a zoo. It could be um, signing a kids museum because kids museums have a lot of interactive things that they do.
Oh yeah.
Um, like you said, you mentioned church. A lot of times church have
I like.
things for the youth, but as well. So it's just, but then, it has to pique their interest. How do you get them off of that game? So they'll go and do that activity.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just thinking outside the box and just, asking questions and not even just asking questions, just say, hey, we want to take a quick road trip 30 minutes down the road.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, just to act an example, you're in Greensboro. So you say, hey, we're going to go to Winston-Salem and see what Winston-Salem Kids Museum got. Just to get them out the house, go on a quick little road trip, see what Winston-Salem Kids Museum is, and get a little interactive with that. Now they out the house for a minute. You see what I'm saying? I mean, now, and also too, when in doing that, you let them know, like, okay, no game, no tablet while we on this road.
Right.
Everything is device free.
Right.
And creating that as well. A lot of people are more intentional doing it at dinner time
Oh yeah.
and and family night. It's like device free, like no distraction. You know what I'm saying? So it's really being intentional about those things. Um, and yeah, and it's trying to figure out how to incorporate ways they can learn life skills outside of the devices. Now, also in saying that, we have to also embrace the technology because what's amazing to me is how we have all this technology, but still people are not as smart as you think they would be.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like, yes, a lot of people will utilize it to get on YouTube or TikTok or Pinterest or whatever to figure out a recipe to cook something. But our youth don't really use those tools to try to figure out life,
Right.
you know. And you should. Going back to our last episode of the podcast, we talked about AI or whatever. They got a huge advantage now with AI. AI will help you with anything.
And that's what we teach. We teach a lot of that too, to learn how to utilize these tools for your advantage. And not just use it just to stroll, just, to see what everybody else is doing. But that's true.
Yeah.
That's what I also talked about that too, like far as with other people, build your YouTube channel.
The guide, sorry. That's the thing. So I mean, like, a lot of kids they see that as well.
Yeah.
And They do want to do a gaming channel. They do want to do a streaming channel where they're streaming something and live and all that. But the parent may not know how to do all of that.
Yeah, with my grandson, he's very smart. So he does a lot himself. He actually builds. I don't know where he be getting this stuff from, but I follow him on TikTok, and he puts a lot of that on TikTok. So that's what I would be in the show of my daughter. Since this is interest of his, even though she don't know how to do it, we also seek out resources, and other communities on who does know how to do these things, and that community is also very important too. So when you don't know, you also have a community to where you can go and find these resources at, because there are so many camps, there's so many programs. I know here, I'm gonna speak about North Carolina. Let me just speak about North Carolina. Because I have checked into it. There are so many camps going on. There are so many schools. There are so many communities that you can get involved in to where you can learn more about it. You know, I just also want them to be aware of the bullies that can be on these particular games. So parents also have to, also watch, your children. That's my main concern when it comes down to being on the games 24/7. You don't know who you're playing with. Now, my grandson only plays with friends, so I can give him that. He only plays with his friends. So that
Yeah, no,
but I even watch that as well, because when you lose,
it gets ugly.
yes, it does. It's like, dude, it's only a game. But grandma, you don't understand. So then that's something else I have to deal with and talk to him about, because I don't want him to be thinking that, okay, so now I'm a loser, because I done lost the game. Because in his mind, no, it goes into other avenues to where, well, now I can't do this because I'm not going to be. So I'm speaking only about him. I'm not talking about other children or whatever. And, he's going to keep trying, but, the thing is how how he handles this losing stuff.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing too. I mean, yeah, I mean, they have to understand that, hey, it's just a game. You know what I mean? And
It's not just
like, no, it's not. But that's because they have it also. But here's the thing: they're not developed enough or have enough responsibility to understand that, right? They look at it right now like, man, they putting all this energy into it. You know what I mean? And all this, effort and whatever they're doing. But they don't understand, like, once you get into real life and you're having to pay bills, take care of your own feet, this certain thing, you'll realize at that point, okay, yeah, this game ain't really, this is just a game. It's not going to make or break anything in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, um, but yeah, I mean, I think the schools don't make it hard, but the schools are embracing the technology, right? Because the kids are learning from computers now. They're taking their tests on computers now. They're going away from paper. So with that, knowing that, okay, for 6-7 hours at school, they're going to be in front of a screen more than likely.
Yeah.
Maybe not fully, but, say half of that. And then they home, you have to just kind of figure out, okay, how can I, and be intentional about it. Okay, well, your screen time is going to be from 6 p.m. to bedtime. And a lot of times it takes the parent also too. You have to be hands-on with this, where you're putting software, app or whatever on the phone, on the iPad, on the tablet, to where, like, if you can control it and literally have it shut down, like, okay, internet goes off at a certain time, or you can't access certain things during these time periods.
Right.
And even with the gaming, I think with the gaming, you can kind of have some parameters where you could set to where, it doesn't do certain things up a certain time frame, or we can't do certain things with the game period, without, you giving authorization. So it is the parent being intentional and hands-on. And that's the tough part, because a lot of parents nowadays, most of these kids are looking out for themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, if heaven forbid it's a single parent that has 3 or 4 kids, you think they worried about that one playing the game? Nah, that's one that's out of their hair.
I get it, because like I said, I have 4. So I get it.
But it's just being intentional about, how do we be more hands-on? How do we get them off the screen to a little bit and interact with real life? So And like I said, some of these things, but you ain't got to break the bank. I mean, there's a circus on tour like they used to. There's like Cirque du Soleil and these different, but the circus ain't like it was when we were growing up. We had a couple different circuits that you could go and do, and that was cool. But it's not all that happening for real,
Yeah.
So, and then even then, I mean, the kid had to have an interest in it. I don't really hear many kids talk about the circus anymore.
I mean, I get it. I mean, we still we regardless. I mean, my daughter, I gotta give her credit. She regardless, she still takes them out to all these different types of stuff. Because like I want her to remember. Well, she already knows that too, because she sees what the game does to him. So she finds extra stuff to put him in, and even though sometimes it does be a flop, she'll do it anyway. But with the circus and all the different types of whatever, not even so much at the circus. So he loves to go to Florida. So she'll, find different trips. So whatever it is that he likes to do. I understand it can't be every day. I get it. you know.
But see, here you get creative with that, right? So, okay, hey, look, we want to limit your screen time. Um, Hold on a second. What's going on here? Oh, are you good on your end?
Yes, your side.
What is happening? Hold tight. Let me see. Let me just. All right, you still here?
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. Y'all know what's going on. I think the Wi-Fi went out or something like
Yeah.
that. But
I just want oh, go ahead. I just want parents to be more hands-on and more aware. It's not like I said, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Just monitor your child, like how they feeling, where they're thinking, and saying different stuff like that. Because you have also, like I said, there's pros and cons when it comes to being on the social sites and being, on YouTube and playing these games. There's so much going on also out there. So I just want to make sure parents are still aware of how the child is feeling and the way this stuff is actually shaping them. That's just what I really want to focus more so, because I understand we are in that time. I get it. Well, and it is a good babysitter. It is a good way to escape. Right. I get it,
right, yeah, that's a
No,
little in this case. I don't know. But yeah, I think for the most part, just the way the world's set up and built now. I mean, you're better off having them kids play games because I mean, like I said, you just don't know what's going on out here anymore. Um, you let them run free in the neighborhood. If you have a neighborhood where you can trust your neighbors, but you just got to be careful. You just don't know. This world's a crazy world now.
Mhm.
So, or we have a fenced in backyard maybe or something, or yeah, like I say y'all intentionally go to a park. Here we go. And you can pack up the bikes or maybe something where they can, watch them ride around. I mean, you're there, but the days of when we were running around in the neighborhoods, I'm not saying it still don't happen. It's
Yeah.
just not the same.
No, it's not to say, and it requires parents to be more, once again, hands-on and more, more present if you want them to have that park time, that outdoor time, and all that good stuff. But I have a question for you. What have you learned from playing games that you can use in real life? I understand you're older, but what have you learned?
Learn from playing games.
You know what I mean, playing the games.
Um, for the most part. So here's the thing. So for the most part, when I play games, especially now, it it gives me a sense of what it's like. For example, if I play a shooting game, a war game, it gives me a sense of what actually happens on the battlefield, right? So, like, if I want to join the army or navy or something like that, or if I want to be an athlete and play a certain sport, like some of these games, they have like drills and practices and just different things you could actually do
Yeah.
that makes you feel like you're a part of that particular sport or whatever it is. So for me, it's just like I say, it's an escape, but also let me get a little insights on certain things. Like for example, I'm playing right now. The game I'm playing is Marvel Avengers, and I've always watched the movies, and if I had the game for a minute, I just been sitting on it, and I finally started playing the game. And the thing that I love about it is because I get to use these characters from the comic books and I see on the TV and the movies and stuff like that. I get to utilize these characters and they have like these different skill sets and different things that they do outside of the movies and stuff. Like obviously they're pretty limited on what they do, but like the game is just wide open. I love it. It's pretty cool. To use the Hulk and he's smashing stuff and just whatever. So for me, it's just kind of, depending on the game, it gives you a little insight on how things work. It does teach you patience too. Like for example, I'm not sure what your grandson plays, but some games require you to be
Oh, you
patient.
know what he played. What's the game of the year? Maybe it's not. Go ahead.
What Grand Theft Auto?
Hmm?
GTA?
What, Fortnite? But he has some other new games.
Oh, he plays Fort. Okay, yeah. So, but like they teach you, depending on the game, they teach you patience because you have to be patient. You got to wait for your opportunity to make a move or a certain thing, and so it does work with your timing and reflexes and things like that come in the game. But yeah, it's just, I mean, you can learn from them for sure.
I know, yeah, because I even whenever I encounter, some stuff that he be going through when he plays it, I always do give him other options, other things to think about, But what can you do to win? You know what I'm saying? So calm down, and I do give him certain strategies that he could use so that he can think and not really, constantly overreacting your emotions. You know what I'm saying? And no, you have to calm down, focus, think. So I do help him when I do, encounter some stuff that I don't like. But go ahead. Because I don't. That's not to learn how to.
That Fortnite game is pretty interesting anyway, because your reflexes got to be really good because you're building
Yeah.
along with trying to shoot at the same time, and that's just I can't do it. All right, give me a shooting game, one thing at a time. You want me to build something, but yeah, to sit here and try to be building something and protect myself and shoot people, nah, you can have. But also too, I think that creative piece is good because, like for example, there's a game called Roblox. I don't know if he plays Roblox or not, but I know that one. You can create like a literal world of whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Let's say he wanted to create a virtual Greensboro. You can do that in this game. You're creating this virtual Greensboro or North Carolina, and you're running around doing certain things in this space. You know what I mean? So you can get creative with some of these games as well. You can get creative. You can learn um, how to be patient and reflexes and just certain things, and also the ins and outs of how certain things work in these certain things for sports or any kind of fighting or whatever the case is. So I mean, just and nowadays the graphics they look so realistic. I mean, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
almost like you're there as well. I mean, virtual reality, that's a whole nother mind blowing thing. With the little headset or whatever, and I wanted to know those as well. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, like the technology is crazy. I mean, like, you said I could play little games, but especially that virtual reality. It puts you right there on this little where you're looking around and you're having to do things. It's pretty amazing. Or literally with the virtual reality, you could be watching a movie or watching some kind of sporting event, like you're sitting there in the arena. So some well, yeah. I think for me, I just learned to appreciate. You say, well, what do I learn? I learned how technology is always advancing. You know what I mean? It's always advancing. Things are always changing and evolving,
Yeah.
and just lets you know that hey, as such, um, we need to be doing the same thing. You should be,
Oh,
you
yeah.
should be,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So, um, so yeah,
I have one more question.
sure.
One more question. If you could create your own game, what would it be about and the features you could have or would have? For.
Um, I think for me, so like for example, Um, I like playing those little strategy games where you're having to match up like, same color jewels or certain like kind of like a Candy Crush type, whatever.
Yes.
Um, I would like to create maybe something similar to that, but with um stuff that the black community can relate to.
Yeah.
Cause we don't have our own, you know what I mean? So like I would like to have a game similar to like that, a Candy Crush type game, but it has like black elements in it that can relate to. I'm not saying it's got to be, oh, we're going to match three chickens
Right.
to create a board or anything like that. I'm just saying we just have stuff that, kind of carry forward to us, as far as like it might have hip hop elements in it or something like that. I did have an idea for a game. I want to say one kind of like one of those zombie thriller type games where you're in a abandoned town, but it's based around black character. And they're trying to survive in this town or whatever, get rid of zombies or things like that. But they're in a black town, not the white characters. Not saying that they don't have games out there where there's black characters, but I'm just saying I like to create something where it's an adventure action type game that's more along for us. And just has certain things that we, for our culture represented here. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Could be a puzzle game. It could be like an action adventure game. And I think I'll do it. End of the day, I've been learning a little bit about the coding, but I just don't have the time to dedicate to it. It takes a lot of time. It's like anything, as far as anything dealing with television, film, video editing, content creating, everything just takes time. It's time. And to sit back and try to code and create something like that. It just takes a lot of time and effort that, I just can't give right now. So, well, I pay somebody. Somebody did.
That's why. That's one.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds good.
I think for me, my thought process is if I create an app that's for the culture, as they say,
Yeah.
it'll get all support, and it's easy to get money off of apps now, even just off of ad revenue. With ads playing through the app or whatever the case is, do you have paid features? So if you make something nice that's for the culture, I think people will buy in, and yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. I need to get back on that.
That's what I talked to my grandson about, and he, like I said, he be dibbing and dabbling. And, we had got him all the equipment and stuff so he can go ahead and start practicing, so he can come up with his own games. So that's what I'm saying. There's pros and cons with playing games and stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah, and then also I love racing, so I'm not putting a game catered to racing or there's options are just it just
Endless.
it's so much parity out there where you see similar types of games. It's just what's going to make it different, right? For me, I feel like if I had stuff from the culture in it, not going to make it better.
Oh, absolutely.
Or make it good anyway. It'll be something that, at least, I'll be like, oh man, it's cool. Share with it, share it with it in the black community all over the place and see what happens.
Absolutely.
So, good questions.
It's good. That's all I have. That's all I have for you today.
Well, like, subscribe, and comment. I definitely appreciate you guys checking us out.
Yeah.
And keep tuned in. But yeah, for the most part, guys, takeaways today is just be more hands-on with your kids and limit that screen time if you can. That way you kind of preserve their mind and it's not just gone. But at the end of the day, social media, man, it does a lot to adults.
Trae, who can't even
area. Just some kids that literally YouTube is their Disney Channel. They watch YouTube all day. That's all they do. And then who in the world knows what they're seeing on YouTube? So it's seriously, try to be more oh yeah, the limit what they watch, and that way you can preserve those young minds and develop them in a way that can be productive in the future. So,
Oh yeah.
All right, well, cool. So get us out of here, Trae.
All right. Well, we just want to thank you all for tuning in to the Carver Ave Chronicles podcast. I'm Trae, and this is All right. And as he stated, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's anything you would love for us to talk about, you can go on our YouTube channel and you can leave it in the comments.
Leave in the comments. Peace.